The way most people live their lives is absolutely insane. Since I moved to Thailand, I've been pretty locked in and I'm on track to making £10,000 a month. I moved here 4 weeks ago. And if you look at one of my first videos, I recorded that on one of I think my first night here. I actually spoke about one of my goals being making £10,000 a month. I'm well on track to doing that. It's been 4 weeks. And recently, I say in the last 3 to 4 days, I found myself falling into a rut. Now, with me, the way I fall into ruts is by not doing my work. With most people, not doing the work comes as a result of being in a rut. But for me, being in a rut comes as a result of not doing the work. So the way I get out of being in a rut is by doing the work, because the work is fulfilling to me. That's my superpower. And how I did that was I do nothing else in my life. And there's nothing else that gives me easy dopamine. I don't watch YouTube. I don't watch Netflix. I don't scroll on flipping Instagram. I don't scroll on TikTok. I have an Instagram profile and I now have a TikTok profile, which I'll tell you about. I don't actually scroll. Thing is, in the past 3 to 4 days, I found myself scrolling. I downloaded Instagram to kind of connect with people like here when I meet them, because you meet some really cool fucking people. But when you have the Instagram app on your phone, it's so easy to just scroll on it while you're taking a shit. And from there, you scroll on it while you're fucking brushing your teeth, whatever. You're just scrolling and scrolling while you're doing random stuff. TikTok is even worse. I went on there because one of my friends, he wanted to send me a TikTok video or something. And I ended up scrolling. So today, this morning, I found myself in a rut. And I thought about why. Why am I in a rut? Why don't I want to do the work? And if you know anything about like doing the work and productivity, then you know that the only reason you'd want to do something is because of dopamine. Dopamine is the thing that makes you want to do anything. So the reason I didn't want to do the work and the reason I was feeling so fucking shit about myself was because my dopamine receptors were kind of fried. I got so much easy dopamine over the past few days just scrolling on Instagram and TikTok that my usual source of dopamine, which is the work, I just didn't want to do it anymore because Instagram will give me so much easier dopamine. As soon as I realized that TikTok, Instagram gone, I deleted it. But the thing is, most people, probably even you scroll Instagram and TikTok for hours on end every single day, but you still want to be successful. How? How are you going to be successful when you're scrolling on Instagram and TikTok? I scrolled for 1 to 2 days, and I think the max amount of time I was on there was for like 1 hour or 2 hours. And it fucked me up. I almost fucked up my entire business. I've onboarded 2 clients recently, and I'm meant to be launching their campaigns very, very soon in a few weeks. One of them sent me like asked him a bunch of Christmas ways, lead list and targeting. He sent me the reply, and I took 2 days to reply to him. I almost never replied because my brain was so fried. I couldn't think about it. And that's because of Instagram and TikTok. It almost fucked up my entire business. This business is changing my life, and I almost fucked it up because I was on Instagram and TikTok. You guys, you live like this permanently. How do you get anything done? I don't understand. Where was I? Yeah, I went on a fucking tangent. Other than the past few days, like I'm back on the horse now, I'm reporting this video. I've already sent his reply. I've already replied to all of my emails in the campaigns. I've checked on everything. Everything's fine. So I'm back on the horse. But the fact that it had such an effect on me within that 1 to 2 hours is insane. I'm never gonna download Instagram again. I probably will. I probably will, but I'll delete it straight away as soon as I remember this. But another thing is, I've made so much. Forget about the Instagram TikTok thing, because that's nipped in the bud. I've made so much progress since I've been here. I came in 4 weeks ago. I'm on track to signing my 4th client, which is insane. 4 clients is gonna get me near enough 10K per month. 4 weeks ago, I filmed a video on my first night here. I was in the pool. I filmed a video saying that one of my goals is to make £10,000 a month. I did not think I'd do it in 4 weeks, but here I am. Now, I was thinking, what actually led me to this point? Now, if you know anything about success and results, you can't attribute your success to the things you're doing now. I'd say I'm seeing success now, but I can't attribute this success to what I'm doing right now. This success came from what I was doing 2 to 3 months ago. So the things I'm doing right now is going to lead to my success in the next 2 to 3 months. So what was I doing 2 to 3 months ago? I was in London planning this trip actually to move to Thailand, Chiang Mai. And I was completely locked in. All I was doing was work. And at the time I had a job. Fun fact, in the UK, I was a bus driver. Before I left for Chiang Mai, I quit my job as a bus driver. So 4 weeks ago, five weeks ago, I was a bus driver. Today, I'm on track to making £10,000 a month. Bus drivers, they work insane hours and they do not make that much money. They make £2,000 after tax per month. For the amount of hours they work, that is nothing. So this stuff, the stuff I preach on my channel, it actually works and it will change your life. If you take this stuff seriously, it's going to change your life. I am a case study. I was a bus driver in the UK. 4 weeks later, I'm on track to being a 6-figure business owner. So what was I doing 2 to 3 months ago to get me to this point today? I was doing all of the good habits that I preach on YouTube. So the meditation, the visualization, visualization, and the extreme focus. Like one of my friends from Muay Thai, he asked me, this is my first time speaking to him, so he asked me now, what are you interested in other than Muay Thai? I started laughing and I told him, bro, nothing. If I'm not in Muay Thai and I'm not out with like friends getting up to nonsense, then I'm working. Like I spend most of my day, probably 80% working or just thinking about the business. Because one of my beliefs is that your brain should obsess over your one goal. You can have secondary goals, like my Muay Thai is my secondary goal. For example, I had Muay Thai 6 to 8 every single day. But sometimes I need to onboard a client. Like I'd have a sales call at 5. I'd close him and I'd onboard him straight away. That's what happened with my second client. I had the sales call at 5. By 6, it was finished. I was meant to be going to Muay Thai. But I was like, let me just onboard it. Because Muay Thai is the secondary goal. Everything comes after the fact. Everything comes after the agency. The agency is the one thing I genuinely really care about. And that's why I can make so much progress. My brain's always working on the agency and making new connections, working on my sales skills, working on my clients' campaigns, working on my own campaign. And that's why we get such good results. Right now, when I started this agency, I was getting a 0.2% appointment booking rate. If you know anything about cold email, you know that's like basically average. Right now, I am getting close enough to a 2% appointment booking rate. We've 10x'd our results since I started, which is 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, I 10x'd my email campaign's results. The way I did that was through letting my brain obsess over the email campaigns. I'll probably make a separate video on that actually. But yeah, the stuff I preach on this channel actually works. One of my friends actually messaged me. He sent me a bunch of voice notes after he watched my video on self-image psychology, and he was like, bro, he didn't know what self-image was or self-image psychology. He's never been into that kind of stuff, but he was telling me, bro, stuff actually works. And it made me smile so hard seeing people from like East London talking about self-image psychology. Because East London is where I'm from. And We no one really cares about visualization in East London and fucking self-image psychology. You don't know what that is. He was telling me the stuff actually works. I don't know if he wants me to share his story or his fucking name, but basically, he's now working for a big boy company. And he was telling me that before he started working for them, like 1 to 2 weeks before he started working for them, he applied and he could see himself working for that company, but he had no idea if he was going to get in. It was a shot in the dark. But he was telling me he was accidentally visualizing himself working in that company. And when I say visualizing, I mean like doing the job, actually being in the job, doing the work. That's what he could see himself doing because he wanted it so bad. 2-3 weeks after that, he sent me a message saying, guess what? He got into the parking company. I was dying. At this point, I hadn't posted my self-image psychology video. So he didn't know nothing about that. Once he watched the video, he realized what was actually taking place. Because whether you like it or not, this stuff is happening. The brain works how it works, regardless of whether you know how it works. The universe works how it works, regardless of whether you know how it works. So visualization, self-image psychology, all of it works. And you need to start tapping into it. So when I was in the UK, I mentioned that I was a bus driver, but I was still doing the good habits. So what was it that got me results when I came here? And I think it was the self-image psychology stuff. Because self-image, it doesn't update automatically. So who I am right now, my self-image doesn't see me as me right now. It sees me as who I used to be. So me 6 months ago, because there's a 6-month lag. And most of that is because you see yourself how the people around you see you. So if the people around you see you as the old you, which they will, that's just how humans are, then you're going to see yourself as the old you. Now, the way to skip past that 6-month lag is by changing your environment. That's what I did when I came to Thailand. And I think that's why my results compounded and everything just snapped. And I'm now on track to making £10,000 a month, seemingly overnight. Another point was, when I was in the UK, some of my friends asked me, like, you know you're doing this alone. Do you want, like, someone to come with you? And I told them no. My close friends, they know how hard this was for me, like, moving abroad alone. Everyone knows how hard it's going to be. Like, you're going to be so lonely at first. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I was like, I have to do it because, say if I did bring someone with me, all of this would have been for nothing. And this stuff, it costs money. I'm paying rent for this place. I'm paying to live here. I have to pay for food. Everything costs money. I have a fucking moped. Everything costs money. And I'm not willing to spend that money and waste it. This stuff, it costs time, brain power. I quit my job to come out here. I couldn't waste this. And I told them no, because even if I brought one person from the UK, they're going to see me as the old version of me. And the old version of me wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. The fact that I'm here alone means that the old version of me doesn't exist. Nobody here sees me as the old version of me, but you all see me as the new version of me. And that's why my self-image could update so quickly. So one of my golden tips is to change your environment. And when I say change your environment, it has to be hard because you have to do it alone. If you brought someone with you, like, I wish I could bring someone with me. I really wished I could bring someone with me. It would make everything 1,000 times easier. But I think that's just the price. With hardship, the price for success is pain. Charlie Morgan talks about this. The price for success is pain. And if you have a bank of pain and pain points. If you deposit enough pain, then eventually you're going to be able to redeem that pain, all of that pain, for something you really want. For me, it was for my agency to take off. And I think I've finally reached the pain threshold. The pain threshold was only met because I came here alone. It would have been so much easier to bring someone with me, but that wouldn't have been enough pain for my agency to take off. That wouldn't have reached the threshold. See, if you're going to do something like this, then do it alone. Because your self-image will latch onto that one person if you do bring that one person. You have to do it alone. And it's going to be hard. But remember that the pain will pay off. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's finally paying off.